Hey guys, in today's video I just wanted to talk to you about the importance of planning out a training block. All right, so we've got two pretty generic and pretty, I guess, popular or common goals. So we've just got up here, losing 5 kilos and building a bit of strength. All right, so with my clients, I'd want to dig a little bit deeper. For the purpose of this video, we'll keep them pretty simple. All right, so we've got girl number one, who is already eating at her baseline calories. All right, so just say in this case it is 2,000. She's already doing 10,000 steps. All right, so she's pretty active and she's an intermediate lifter. So she's got a couple of years background in the gym. Girl number two is not tracking her calories, but at a guess, eating 1,200 at the absolute max. All right, she's only doing 4,000 steps. All right, so again, another very common thing, barely eating, not moving much. All right, not a good combination. And she's never set foot in a gym before. All right, so we've got two vastly different subjects here, both for the purpose of this video, sitting about 25%. All right. Then we have the 12 weeks planned out here. All right, so for example here, let's start with girl number one. So already eating at a baseline, already pretty active, knows what she's doing in the gym. So we can be a little bit more aggressive with her. We can give her some more advanced strategies. So in weeks 1 to 4, we're going to put her straight into a 30% deficit, all right? So that's based off her body fat percentage, 30%, get her down to 1,400. That should get things moving pretty well. We're then going to up her steps. If she's already at 10,000 when she comes to me, we're going to up her steps to 12,000, all right? So an increase of 2,000. That is, again, combined with her deficit, so dropping her calories in and then increasing her calories out. We're going to put her in the best possible position to start her weight loss, okay? With her programming, with her training, I'm going to start her on a 4-day-a-week split. All right, reason being, this gives us somewhere to move as we go through our phases here. I'm going to start her on a daily undulated periodization program. So what this means is basically each day is a different focus, okay? So being as strength, although vague, is something she wants to improve, we're going to give her 1 strength day, 2 hypertrophy days, probably split upper lower, and then another full body day. We should see some decent weight loss in that first month, okay? Moving into phase number 2, so weeks 5 to 8, I'm going to keep her calories the same because I don't think we would need to go too much lower than her, as her goal is only 5 kilos. But what I am going to do is, again, this is very generic, like things change throughout a 12-week block. Things aren't always as you write them on paper, but again, for the sake of this, let's just say things are going to plan. I'm going to up her activity. All right, so we're going to again push her energy out. Her calories are going to stay the same. All right, so I'm not going to starve her, not going to bring her down. Simply going to make her move more. So we're upping those steps to 14,000. And again, depending on what her biofeedback markers are telling me, we look at introducing a refeed for her. And we'd probably do a 3-day over a weekend, just bring her calories up to baseline, give her a bit of a reset and then come back down. And with her training, combined with our increase in output here, we're going to increase her output with her through her training. So we've gone from a 4-day split here to a 5-day split, and we're changing her training method from a DUP to an 8-8-16. So for those of you that don't know what that is, I've done a few posts about it, so go and have a look in my feed. But it's basically a tricep method. So you're doing an exercise 8 reps into an exercise of 8 reps into an exercise of 16 reps. All right, so fairly high intense style of training. And again, we're adding an extra day in there. So again, pushing that output. Hopefully we've achieved that 5 kilo drop. All right. We then would move into phase number 3. And this is where we were trying to cement that 5 kilo drop, all right, that we've hopefully got in the first 8 weeks. We would then take her calories from 1,400, and in weeks 9 and 10, I would put them straight up to 1,700. Assuming her weight stays steady, we would then put them up to roughly 1,850, which is hopefully going to be her new maintenance. Your maintenance is going to drop a little bit over a fat loss period due to metabolic adaptation. So it's going to be around the 1,800 to 1,900 calorie mark, okay? Once she's there in further phases, we then look to keep pushing that up. But for the sake of this, let's say we get her back to 1,850. Her steps, we're going to bring them down. So we're going to start to lower her volume, and we're going to put her on a strength program. All right, so now we're going to hit on this goal here. And put her into something like a wave load. So this is a beginner strength program. With her extra calories, we're going to then look to really push strength in those last 4 weeks of that phase, and then that sets us up for whatever goal she wants to then move into down the track. All right. So that's a pretty basic summary of someone that has a decent background in the gym, tracking their food, already doing a fair bit of exercise. That might be how a 12-week block looks like for someone like that. Then on the flip side, we've got girl number 2. So again, same body fat, but barely eating. So 1200 at the most, very underactive, complete newbie to the gym. So of course we can't have the same approach as we did with girl number 1. This is one of the biggest mistakes you see made with trainers and with clients, is that they give people with stats like girl number 2 the same plan as girl number 1 and wonder why it doesn't work. All right, there's a reason it doesn't work, and that's a reason every program and every approach needs to be tailored towards the individual. All right, so if we start over here in phase number 1, my first goal with someone who's under eating like this is to get them eating more and to start pushing their metabolism up, because there is nowhere to go from 1200 calories. All right, we can't go lower than that. Yes, we can push her energy out a bit, which I'll talk about, but for me, we want people eating food. All right, so we're not going below that. So my first focus for these first 8 weeks is to get her calories up to a point where she's feeling good again, her training's going to improve, she's going to get stronger, she's going to put on a bit of muscle, and then that'll leave us in a good position to then come back down in this last phase and really attack that 5 kilo weight loss goal. And you might often find that even pushing her calories up from say 1200 up to 1950 here over 8 weeks may even result in a bit of weight loss. As you know, you take your body out of that stress state, get yourself moving more, you may actually even knock off half of that weight loss goal with an increase in calories. Again, everyone's different. The first 2 weeks, I would look to go straight to 1500, and then assuming her weight doesn't go up, we will then go up to 1700 for weeks 3 and 4. I would immediately double her energy out, so her daily steps. So if she's only at about 4 here, I would make her do 8. All right, so again, getting her into better habits, which is going to then put her in good stead for this last phase. And training would be super simple, would be the last thing I focus on with her. Just 3 full body days, around that 8 to 15 rep range, nothing too crazy. Then moving in weeks 5 to 8, I would then keep increasing her calories. So smaller jumps now as we get closer to her predicted maintenance, up to 1800 for a couple of weeks. Again, assuming her weight holds or comes down, getting her up to around that 1900 to 2000 calorie mark. It may not be quite that high. 1800 may be where she needs to stay, but again, that's something you just have to assess on the fly. And by this stage, I'd be getting her to get to that 10,000. All right, so there we've got a really good foundation. We've got 1900 calories, we've got 10,000 steps, and we can now start to bump up her training. So moving from a 3-day split to a 4-day split, going 2 upper, 2 lower, getting her to focus on the main lifts. So your deadlifts, your hip thrusts, your squats, your pull-ups, your overhead presses, these kind of things, and start to build a bit of strength. And then we can really attack weeks 9 to 12 or her phase 3. So by then she would have had 2 weeks at her predicted maintenance. I would give her another 2 weeks at her predicted maintenance, so up around that 1900 mark. By now she should be feeling good, energy should be high. Again, I'm pushing her steps up even further. Guys, even just this alone may have even dropped those 5 kilos. Again, very person dependent, but there is that possibility. And then this last phase, once she's been there for 2 weeks up at her maintenance, I would then go, all right, let's go and let's attack this fat loss phase. We could then drop her straight down into a 30% deficit, same as what we did with girl number 1, down to about 1365 roughly. Again, her steps are high, and then push her training. So we've gone from 3-day to 4-day up to 5-day with something like a 6-12-25 method. So basically what this is, similar to your 8-8-16, you've got 3 exercises. So you've got something for 6 reps. So that is the strength. That is where we're going to link that to this goal here. That's the strength portion. So you go 6 reps, then you go to something more hypertrophy, so 12 reps, and then you've got a metabolic activity or exercise at the end. We're attacking a number of different stimuluses here, and we're going to do that over a 5-day split. All right, so again, pushing training volume, pushing her output through steps, and then putting her in this deficit for the last 2 weeks, which again, depending on what's happened in these first 8 weeks, will hopefully help her achieve that 5 kilo drop. If not, it's setting us up for later phases. As always, guys, any questions, leave them down below, send me a message, and I'll do my best to help you out. But yeah, cheers for watching. Hopefully you have learned something.